Opportunity to put points on the board, and we are underway here at DKR Memorial Stadium. Here comes Nibble out of the end zone about a yard deep. And hit at the 21 and dropped right there. Well, here comes Arch Manning. 6'4", 220-pounder. Last week, 19 of 30. 4 touchdowns on the year, 36 of 30. Added 61 yards this year on the ground. And so what are you going to look for today? What's going to be a barometer of how well things are going for Arch?
Yeah, ultimately staying calm in the pocket, but it's all about precision and accuracy for Arch. He's had some errant throws in week 1 and week 2. Hone that in and make this offense go on first and second down so they could be better on third.
Point of emphasis this week, that first and second down situation. Let's see how they handle that here on their opening play of the game. So far, so good. Out over the 25 to the 28 yards. Line goes C.J. Baxter. C.J. up over 100 yards on the year. Udoko Izani making the tackle there. This is a defense, by the way, from UTEP. Oh, boy, that is not a good sign. I'll finish that thought on the UTEP defense. Already down Trey Wisner. And if C.J. Baxter, who's coming off an injury from last year, is banged up, well, that running back room's going to get thinner and thinner.
Yeah, and can't really tell where he's shaking up. It looks to be on the lower body aspect. He's able to walk off at least under his own will, which is positive, but he's already gone through a lot of adversity as is in his career so far at Texas.
Christian Clark will come in to replace him. We'll try to get an update on C.J. Baxter as soon as we can. We'll pass it along. They'll swing it near side. Here's Clark. Over the 40, over the 45, out to the 47-yard line. And still on his feet. They finally spot him at midfield. He got an extra 3 or 4 yards out of that. Xavier Smith tried to bring him down, but it took a bunch of white jerseys. 23 yards.
Yeah, Jack Indries, the tight end, does a great job of blocking on the edge and securing the opportunity for Christian Clark to get out there and make some plays in open field, and then obviously pick up a big explosive for a first down for this Texas offense.
They'll hand it off again to Clark. And about 2 on the play for the redshirt freshman out of Phoenix.
And there's the pass play right outside. Jack Indries exposes the DB not wanting to come up and fill on that short pass, which creates open space for Christian Clark to go out and really showcase his dynamic ability in open field.
Jarrett Gibson now in the game at running back. Straight handoff. He's to the 46 and push back. Micah Davey, their middle linebacker, who is just a tackle machine, coming in from McNeese. 5th-year senior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Over 330 career tackles for Micah Davey.
Yeah, you see Jarrett Gibson coming off to the sideline. Whenever you run into Micah Davey, it's like running into a brick wall. Micah Davey has been all over the place for this UTEP defense.
On 3rd down and 6. Christian Clark. It's a couple of yards. So 4th down. Looks like this offense is going to stay on the field. Utah State and UT Martin with getting in the backfield and being very disruptive. They'll try to do that here as Texas keeps the offense on the field on a 4th down and 5 from the Miner 45. Miners have had 4 stops on 4th down this year, as opponents have tried to go for it on 4th down 6 times. Manning. Sidearm sling, and that one's a little bit behind Ryan Wingo. Boy, he had plenty of time.
Yeah, he had the time, but you can't get into rhythm whenever it seems as though the combination of Arch Manning to Ryan Wingo isn't on point. You see the ball thrown behind him. That's an extremely difficult pass to make, going across your body, resets his feet, but it's just going against your body and the momentum that makes it that much harder to be accurate. And that's been some of the woes and the mishaps of this Texas offense, particularly with Arch Manning and Ryan Wingo trying to find a rhythm with each other.
Well, another defensive stop now for UTEP, and here comes this wide open offense. They'll spread you out. They'll run a lot of tempo. Getting that first down on every drive is highly critical for what they want to do offensively. Ashton Emery, your running back, alongside Malachi Nelson. First throw is caught in Texas territory at the 46-yard line to Torrek Goins. But Malachi Nelson, former #1 ranked quarterback in the entire country in the ESPN 300 list, now on his 3rd school. Handoff right side, Emery, nothing there. I think he got right back to the line of scrimmage. So the Miners will make a couple of substitutions. This is one area that Texas has been so good at. They're limiting their opponents to less than 26% on 3rd down conversions. On the flip side, UTEP has converted 32%. They'll try to get it here, and it's right on the line to gain. It looks like he's going to be just short. It'll be 4th down and inches, and the Miners will go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, you see great push by that Texas defense. Even Tyler Scott, the defensive tackle, comes in and try to give extra push. It's just not enough. Texas defense prevails on 3rd down.
Emery, right side, nothing doing. A brick wall formed at the line of scrimmage, and it's a turnover on downs, and the Longhorns will have it back.
Again, what a tremendous stop by this defense. You see the push playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage, and then Ant Hill Jr., one of the most athletic linebackers, goes over the top to prevent Emery from getting any momentum by launching himself over the pile, and they meet. And that's where you see Texas defense really find a way to get off of the field in their stop of the day, as it seems like these two teams trading defensive blows on their first opening drives.
Arch Manning and company back on the field at the 45-yard line. Jarrett Gibson will start this drive in the backfield. They'll fake the handoff there. Manning steps up, couple of hops, pass is caught. Parker Livingston, another big reception for the guy who leads this team in receiving yards, and now tied for the lead in reception to pick up a 22.
Now you see the play action at work there. Arch Manning comfortable in the pocket, and then precision and precise. That's what you see to his #1 go-to target on the offense, Parker Livingston. That's the connection that has been so strong and solid for Arch Manning in this offense. You can see the production that these two have. The chemistry is made apparent. 6 receptions, 175 yards coming into the game, 2 touchdowns to Parker Livingston.
Not to mention he had an 83-yarder last week. Handoff right side to Jarrett Gibson. He's met by Xavier Smith. We'll spot him on the 22-yard line. C.J. Baxter got 1 carry left, hobbled off the field for more. Let's go down to Morgan.
Well, guys, and after that first series, he came off the field, gingerly walked into the medical tent, was in there for several moments, and then walked in his own power, able to get off the field, but toward the Texas locker room.
Handoff again goes to Gibson. Now, we expected to see quite a bit of Christian Clark and Jarrett Gibson today. I just think that maybe a little sooner than anticipated. But now C.J. Baxter, all eyes will be on that young man as the top 2 running backs now out for at least a moment. So a 3rd down and short coming up. Straight handoff goes right to Gibson. Neil Campbell came diving in there. It'd be the first Miner to get a helmet on him. And this will be 4th down and about a half yard, maybe a full yard. And again, Texas keeping the offense on the field.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see. I think they try to force it in there with some play action, fake like they're running in the middle, and try to get somebody in the flats.
Inside handoff goes to Gibson. Well, they kept Clark and Gibson in the backfield. They gave it to Gibson, who has the first down after a pickup of 7. They'll spot it at the 15.
I like this misdirection. You motion a guy out of the backfield, try to lighten up that box. You find huge holes on the inside with DJ Campbell leading the way, and Jared Gibson picks up the first down for this offense.
Well, red zone's one of those topics we talked with Steve Sarkisian with yesterday. Says, hey, man, we just got to be a little bit better. I mean, it's not great numbers through 2 games. See how that practice has paid off. Manning scours the field, looks left, trying to get something to open up. Will take it himself. He's hit at the 10 and falls forward near the 8. Dante Thompson chasing him down. That'll be a gain of 7.
It's a great job by Arch, trusting in his teammates. First read isn't there, second read isn't there. Pull it down, go make a play with your legs.
Quick snap, handoff right side. Christian Clark cuts it back near the goal line. They're going to spot him just shy, like inches shy of the touchdown.
You see the push that this Texas offensive line is able to create. Christian Clark presses the heels of the lineman, cuts upfield, and just short of his first career touchdown as a Texas Longhorn, but he puts this Texas offense in 1st and goal from the 1.
They'll line up in a traditional I formation. Getting the tight end in motion, work the left side. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Neil Campbell hits Clark in the backfield. Looks like that might be offsides.
Offsides on the defense.
UTEP.
You want to see UTEP had some issues trying to get a defender on the field before he could get set. Arch Manning snaps the ball wisely, picks up a free play and half yardage to the goal line.
Same formation. This time they'll work the right side. And again hitting the backfield. K.D. Johnson, the 5th-year senior out of Houston, slicing through that line. That's a loss of 2.
Yeah, K.D. Johnson's ball get off. It's unbelievable. Splits the double team, stops the running back in his tracks, and then creates another TFL, which is what has made UTEP's defensive line so tenacious, is playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
Averaging over 11 tackles for loss per game early in this season. Get another one there. Gibson to the left of Arch Manning. They'll stack receivers to the left side. Bringing Wingo in motion across the formation. Manning looking left now. Coming to the near side. Throws it up in the air for Wingo. And a flag comes out. Dante Thompson back there in coverage.
Seem to be tussling with each other as the ball was in the air. Which may go against the defense.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding on the defense, number 10. That penalty will be accepted. Pass interference on the defense, number 12. That penalty will be declined. First down.
Well, what do you make of this, Paso?
Yeah, you see one-on-one. Arch Manning trying to make a play. Has his hands right on Ryan Wingo, and I don't know, I kind of like that defensive play there. Let those guys play together, but the holding is the one that was called and accepted by this Texas offense.
Boy, Scotty Walden came flying down the field to get a timeout. Second one here in the first quarter for the Miners, trying to come up with a big stop. Well, now it's time for kind of a big deal, brought to you by Old Trapper. Red zone issues for Texas. What's going on?
Yeah, ultimately they haven't been able to punch the ball in. You see 4th and 1 against Ohio State, the second time that has bitten them in the butt. Another opportunity, week 1 against Ohio State, 4th down, try to go his favorite target, he can't find it. And then this is just last week, Arch Manning makes an ill-advised throw. It creates a turnover for the opposing team. Sark mentioned, hey, be smart there, tuck the ball. It's early in the downs. Allow yourself the right to reserve for the kick. And those are the issues that this Texas offense has experienced in the red zone so far this year.
Well, the fourth play since it got down to the one coming up. 2 of them resulted in penalties. First and goal. Arch Manning, nice play fake. Scoots into the end zone, and Texas is on the board.
It's a beautiful design by Steve Sarkisian. You fake the inside dive, which they have shown you a couple times before, and then Arch Manning is able to use his athleticism, looking like his grandfather, Archie Manning, getting around the edge and scoring the first touchdown of the day. Texas Longhorns up 6 points now after that run.
Second rushing touchdown of the year for Arch Manning as Mason Shipley comes onto the field. Transfer out of Texas State. Attempting the point after. It is up, and it is good. So Texas, our Week 3 SEC Network football lineup is capped off by Vandy and 11th-ranked South Carolina at Williams-Brice Stadium at 7:45 Eastern Time. It's also available on the all-new ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. And don't forget that coming up after that game tonight, it'll be SEC Now, Dari Nova, Chris Storing, Benjamin Watson. They'll take you through the biggest stories of the day and break down all the games. It's also available on the all-new ESPN app. Vanderbilt's lost 16 straight meetings to South Carolina. And they're looking for their first 3-0 start since 2017. That'll be a good one tonight.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see that.
And again, is that a timeout?
We got a timeout, but Dave, I do have to point out that's a critical mistake from UTEP. Thompson goes back deep, feels the ball with the knee on the ground. You put your offense in a hole starting from the 3-yard line with the expectation of creating some space, of pushing down the field.
UTEP will not be charged with their timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining from the half. Please reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Start on my signal.
So 5:26 to go here in the first quarter. Texas leads by a touchdown. And now Malachi Nelson and company backed up. Handed off left side, goes to Ashton Emery. 4 touchdowns on the year, averaging a tick over 4 yards per carry. Big hit by Jelani McDonald on that defensive end. Little breathing room. It's still going to be second down. And let's call it 8.5, maybe 9. Fake it to Emery. Sling it to the outside. Kenny Odom trying to turn the corner. Odom out to the 10-yard line. Grayson Littleton, the true freshman on that back end out of Tampa, Florida.
And that's where UTEP gets very creative offensively. You see an end-over formation, receivers, everybody that's eligible all on one side of the formation. Create number games, try to get Kenny Odom on the edge to pick up some valuable yardage and some breathing room for this UTEP offense.
Little run blitz, and Emery catches him in the blitz, and he should have enough for the first down. It's really close. The line to gain was out around the 13-yard line. I think they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, Ashton Emery is one of the hardest runners on the football field. Sheds a tackle by Leonga Lafau, puts his head down and try to get a little bit more on Jelani McDonald, and it is enough to pick up a first down for the UTEP Miners offense.
Can take a little bit of a deep breath here. Downs reset. 4-man rush. Nelson swings it to the outside. Boy, Jelani McDonald all over it. A minimal gain for Emory. Matter of fact, that'll go as a loss of a yard.
This is impressive job by Jelani McDonald. Unblock at the point of attack. He's one-on-one in Ashton Emory. He just made a guy miss last play. Jelani McDonald now on his third tackle in a row, saying, not today.
Another inside handoff to Emory. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Ethan Burke, that fourth-year senior from right here in Austin. And Levon Johnson, transferring from Maryland, making a play. So going to look at Moran Watson. Some big boys up front. Well, it didn't look like Texas was set defensively. Nelson tries to catch him, lofts it up in the air, and has to throw it away. Pressure came from Hero Canoe.
Texas just got away with one right there. They had two guys coming off the field that just got out of bounds before the ball was snapped, but confusion, defensive line not set. Thankfully, they were able to get into their base coverage or call on their behalf to be able to rectify the situation and force an incompletion for fourth down.
Miners will have to punt it away. Noah Botsford, a transfer in from Valdosta State. Averaging over 48 yards per punt. Sends it away to Ryan Niblett. This is very returnable at the 47-yard line. Niblett cutting it back across the grain, and he is stopped at the 31-yard line. So a short field coming up for the Longhorns with 2:12 to go here in the first quarter.
This is how you flip field position. You get a guy that's dynamic and in space. He feels the ball on the move. You got blockers in front, makes a guy miss, lowers that shoulder. Anytime you can get double-digit return on a punt, and you're doing something very well, it sets up this Texas offense already in position to be in striking range.
22-yard return. Arch Manning, 2 of 3, 45 yards, has a rushing touchdown to his credit. Still waiting on that combination of Manning to Wingo to get on track. How about a little reverse to Wingo? That one was snuffed out immediately by the Miners. Justin Content on the back end. That sophomore corner. Loss of 2.
That Content was ready for this, coming off of a big return. You got to stay at home. Keeps that leverage. Then one-on-one. He's able to take out the legs of Ryan Wingo. Create another TFL for this UTEP defense.
Handoff goes to Christian Clark, or excuse me, Jarrett Gibson. Lance Russell making the play. So now you're looking at another third down. This will be third down and about 10 yards. Coming near side, gets that one to Clark. He's hit at the 25, breaks a couple of tackles, diving for that line to gain, and he may have it. Had to get down to the 21. Let's see where they spot it. Looks like he might be a little bit short of the line to gain by maybe a yard.
Yeah, what a tremendous effort. Arch Manning finds Christian Clark in open space. He lowers that shoulder, but keeps those legs driving. Low center of gravity and dynamic ability that he has to make people miss. Showcases why Texas is really high on Christian Clark. And he has some opportunities to already leave his mark on the game.
Fourth down and a yard. Third time the Longhorns have gone for it on fourth down here in the first quarter. And they will have the first down as the shot Hall was a little bit late. That will do it for the first quarter. Texas Memorial Stadium. It is 7-0 Texas out in front. of the UTEP Miners. Arch Manning today, in the first quarter, 3 of 4, 54 yards. Texas has had the football for over 10 minutes of that first quarter, and they continue to possess the football here inside the 20-yard line. Jared Gibson in at running back. They're going to hand it to the sophomore out of Gainesville, Florida, by way of IMG Academy. We'll look at some of these first quarter numbers for you, and as you might imagine, it was dominating time of possession, plays, yards, score by the Longhorns. On 2nd and 7, they'll play fake it, sling it out to the tight end, Endress. That'll be a gain of 5.
It's a nice little RPO action. Fake it to the running back. You read where that post defender is, and if he's not there, hit it to your flat route with injuries, and you pick up a good 4 yards. Make it 3rd and manageable is where Steve Sarkisian wants this offense to live.
7th catch of the year for the tight end who transferred in from Cal. Big part of this offense. Looking for Wingo, and just off his outstretched left hand. Incomplete. That's kind of the story, right? They're just a step off, a foot away.
Yeah, just a tad off. Ryan Wingo runs the wheel route, gets the natural pick. It's just overthrown just a little bit. That's where those two have really struggled with overthrown passes or inaccuracies. And over the course of the season, you see 10 incompletions for only 65 yards and an interception versus the success that they had found last year.
So another 4th down attempt. It'll be 4th down and about 3 to go for the Longhorns. They're 2 for 3 on 4th downs today. Manning coming near side, having to scramble, runs back the other way, trying to get somebody open. Stops, fires back across his body. That one's picked off for the end zone. A flag comes out around the 5-yard line. Xavier Smith with that interception.
An eligible player downfield on the offense number 73. That penalty is declined. First down, UTEP.
Wow, so they were hoping to make it 14-0, but the interception in the end zone gives UTEP the football now at their own 5. Their 3rd drive of the game. They've started at the 45, the 3, and now the 5. They have only run 10 plays to this point in the game. Malachi Nelson stands in the end zone. Quick hitter to the outside, and they'll get a couple of yards. Trayvon Tate got hit immediately.
Now let's take a look at that interception again. You're going to see Parker Livingston in the slot route. As Arch Manning rolls out, that's his first read. He should throw the ball right now. That's a pickup that could be easily done, and that's what Steve Sarkisian wants to see Arch do more of.
That play blown up immediately. Ashton Emery nowhere to go because Travis Shaw just blew that play up. The first-year Texas Longhorn transferred in from North Carolina, a loss of 4.
Yeah, Travis Shaw one-on-one with Ivan Escobar. He's just too quick. Ivan Escobar doesn't even get a hand on him. You don't block a guy like that, he'll make you pay.
Well, this is when this Texas defense is so dangerous. Haven't spoken a lot of Colin Simmons to this point early in this season. A freshman All-American last year, defensive end, sophomore in Dallas.
On the offense, not all 11 were set prior to the snap. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. It's 3rd down.
Colin had 9 sacks a year ago as a freshman. Came out and said he wanted to set the single-season sack record. Well, he better get going.
Yeah, and better believe a lot of attention is going to go his way on this 3rd down, backed up in their own end zone.
Colin off that edge, standing up, wearing number 1, ready to go. Emery in the backfield along with Nelson. Here comes Simmons. He just does miss Nelson. Pass is complete. They'll pick up a few yards, but that is a long way from where they needed to go. Malik Muhammad back there in coverage.
Check out this inside move by Colin Simmons. Fakes the upfield and then gets to Malachi Nelson. If he doesn't get that ball out quickly, that might would have went the Longhorns' way on a sack, and Colin Simmons might would have been celebrating in the end zone with the forced fumble if he's able to catch him off guard.
That is a big ask for any tackle.
Oh,
one
yes.
on one.
Oh, yes.
Botsford to punt it away. Another returnable kick. Here comes Niblett near side. Flag comes out, though. Niblett to the 30, to the 20, and pushed out of bounds.
Niblett with a great return, but it might be coming back, Dave. We see some yellow laundry on the field.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team, number 24. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
You see, check down in the middle of your screen. Warren Robinson just extends that hand to try to aid in blocking his defender, but ultimately, whenever you extend and push in the way that you did, that's an easy call the referee are going to make every single time, which has cost the Longhorns this season with a number of penalties that they had, 12 just a week ago, and they're outing against San Jose State.
So from the 44-yard line, handoff goes to Christian Clark. Out of 9, maybe 10 when it's all said and done. Dante Thompson making the tackle. By the way, we did get word that C.J. Baxter, who was injured on his first carry of the afternoon, the Longhorn running back, will not return. No update on exactly what the injury was, but limped off the field. Won't see him the rest of the day. Here is Christian Clark again. He'll have the first down. Garrett Hawkins making the tackle from his linebacker spot. So now you're really, so far, you're down to Clark and Gibson, right? You were hoping that you had maybe a Baxter-Weisner combo just a couple of weeks ago. Well, now you're down to Clark and Gibson. You're going to have to rely on those guys this afternoon.
Yeah, and they got their work cut out. Christian Clark obviously didn't get a chance to play last year. It's almost like a freshman still getting reps underneath his belt.
Wingo in motion a couple of ways. Handoff goes to Gibson, cuts it back. He's to the 35-yard line. Again, Dante Thompson having to come up to make the play. Gain of 6.
Yeah, 3 consecutive runs. This offensive line is starting to lean a little bit on the size of UTEP. You see unblocked defenders, but they're 4 or 5 yards downfield. Jared Gibson takes advantage of that, picks up 6 yards on first down, and we're starting to see a trend that Steve Sarkisian wants to create for this offense and the identity for today.
Again, handoff left side goes to Gibson. K.D. Johnson, first one there. This offensive line of Gooseby, Stroh, Hudson, Campbell, Baker. Lost some really talented players a year ago. But Gooseby, a guy they're really high on, just a sophomore. They go 312, 340, 308, 321, and 308 up front. Couldn't get much of a push on that one as Hawkins comes up to make a play on Clark. Coaches were a little bit worried about the quickness, the smaller size of the Miners' defensive front, which has allowed them to get all these TFLs and sacks in the first couple of games. You know, that little half step that they get advantage just because of their quickness has created problems.
Yeah, it creates chaos, and they move a lot with some of the shifts and the slants and the stunts that they do. And you can expect to see more of that here on fourth down as they try to confuse this offensive line and this Texas offense.
Texas 2 out of 4 on fourth down. Is going to push the envelope again from the 35. They'll play fake it this time to Clark. Manning toward the end zone and overthrows Parker Livingston, who had a step on his defender, but Arch overthrew him by a couple of yards. Blocker back there in coverage. Fay, Mexicano, Burns, and Berthas meeting all the locals. Big pass play down the middle by the Miners.
We got a flag on the field on the far side. We'll see what it is. look like the Miners offense seems to be headed back.
That was clearly the biggest play for UTEP this afternoon.
Yes. You don't want to have that one erased by a penalty whenever you're trying to create some momentum.
Holding on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
So Judah Nzinwa comes up with the big reception. The redshirt junior transferred in from San Antonio Junior College.
Yeah, here's the rhythm that we talked about. Malachi Nelson needs to have in order to get this offense rolling. And Nzinwa does a great job of reeling it in, using his body to keep himself in between the ball and the defender. Cradles it in, and a big explosive play for this UTEP offense.
Hassan Wilson in the game at running back. Number 14, Malachi Nelson, though, coming near side. Throws back across the middle. Not a good pass. Right into the belly of a Longhorn defender. Jelani McDonald with the interception. 14-yard return, and Texas with the defensive stop, and they go to celebrate in the end zone. Well, both of our quarterbacks who came out of the class of 2023 as your top two signal callers have both thrown an interception today.
Yeah, Arch Manning obviously trying to create a play on fourth down, throws across his body, ends up in an interception in the end zone, and almost the exact same thing, Malachi Nelson throwing across the body, and it turns into a turnover.
Manning hit as he throws, and that one's incomplete. Trying to hit Jordan Washington, another one of those tight ends. I mean, there's like 5 tight ends we could see today. That room is full of talent.
Yeah, Steve Sarkisian has spoken highly about Jordan Washington and getting him the ball, but being able to protect at the point of attack gives Arch Manning an opportunity to complete that pass under pressure is the reason why it fell incomplete.
Manning 4 of 9, 58 yards. Does have a rushing touchdown. We'll throw it here. And misfires on Wingo again. And Wingo was open on his break. For more on Arch, let's go down to Morgan.
Well, after that overthrow in the end zone, Livingstone came over and picked up his quarterback, saying, "It's all right, man, we got this." These two, they're roommates, and on weekends we're told there's zero football talk, but midweek after hard practices, they really harp on the game plan. And you know who were also some pretty great roommates, guys, the McCoy and Shipley connection, an unstoppable duo, and Livingston telling us we're not quite at that level, but we're going to keep growing our relationship and connection, and goal is to be better than they were.
Well, Manning here trying to send one down the field, and that one is incomplete. Two Longhorns right in the same spot, and that'll be a stop for the Miners.
Yeah, just miscommunication. Both Ryan Niblett and Jack Entries are in the same spot. They actually collide and hit each other and force the incompletion there. And this is not the offense that Steve Sarkisian envisioned, making incremental steps moving forward. It seems to be they're actually taking a step back, and UTEP Miners defense is showcasing why they're so good.
Bomeister punts this one away. Eric Willis back to return it, makes the catch, breaks a tackle. Maybe gets a yard or two out of that return, and a chance for Malachi Nelson to hit the field one more time. Malachi Nelson, boy, he came out of high school. He was beginning out as their #1 quarterback, but a lot of people didn't know this back in the day. His senior year of high school, he played with a torn labrum, a 2-time California Gatorade Player of the Year, wanted to play that senior season, did so, said it was miserable. He gets surgery, he gets healthy enough to participate in spring, but not healthy enough to really compete. Loses the backup quarterback job at Southern Cal. Then transfers to Boise State. Thought he was going to get a shot there. Didn't get that job either. Transfers here to UTEP. Had to earn the job. Was not the starter out of spring practice. Scotty Walden telling us yesterday that he knew he wasn't the best quarterback coming out of spring. Spent a lot of time talking with the staff. What do I need to do to be better? They gave him a whole list of things, and he came back for fall practice and worked on all of those things and was a completely different guy. Mindset was right and really was the best quarterback throughout fall and won the job.
Yeah, one uncharacteristic throw by Malachi Nelson, trying to throw across the body, but overall, throughout the course of the season, he's played fairly clean. That's what UTEP has to continue to do, is build off of those clean performances.
Four-man rush will flush Nelson out of the pocket. Pass is away and caught at the 24-yard line. So it'll be third down coming up. Eric Willis on that reception. One of the nugget about Nelson, you know, he originally committed to Oklahoma, where Lincoln Riley was the coach. Caleb Williams was the quarterback. Then Lincoln Riley gets the job at SC. Caleb goes with him, and so did Nelson, at least for a year. Kenny Odom, he is wrapped up as he got to the 25, thrown to the turf, and he'll be 3 yards shy the line to gain. Anthony Hill Jr. on the play.
We'll see how aggressive Coach Scotty Walden wants to be, all the way inside his own 30-yard line. I mean, it's 4th and short. I mean, it may not be nothing to lose for him. I take that back. He may have decided it might be best to try to flip the field position, but this is where trick plays on special teams can really hurt the opposing return team.
Look, his defense has played well. Why not punt it away? Try to get another stop. Botsford's punt takes a favorable minor bounce. Flags come flying around midfield as one of the minor players was just blocked all the way into the bench. I mean, into the bench.
We'll see who this is on, but showed the graphic a little bit earlier about the woes that Texas had last week in penalties.
During the kick, personal foul, illegal blocking out of bounds on the receiving team, number 24. That penalty will be enforced half a distance from the goal from the end of the kick where it's first down.
Well, that's a bad mistake for Texas. That'll back them up inside the 10-yard line.
And here goes some of the mishaps of Arch Manning. You get one-on-one opportunity on 4th down. You got to be able to complete that pass again to Ryan Wingo. That connection seems to be off. And the second time that they try to go to him in the end zone, it doesn't end up in the right hands. And then again, just errant throws. The decision-making, the comfortability of him in the pocket, there's something off, and it needs to get fixed immediately if they want to have the success that Texas and Steve Sarkisian plan for them to have throughout the course of the season.
Of course, last week, a lot of discussion on some of the social media outlets about is Arch healthy or not. Well, we asked him bluntly yesterday, and he said, I'm perfectly fine. Nice handoff. Gibson picks up a first down. Barnes and Davey there. You know, you saw video of him grimacing. Well, we saw some video from last year, and it was the same kind of look. The motion's the same. And we said, hey, is there anything to it? He says, no, I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, he actually mentioned he was upset by making the bad pass, which is why he was grimacing.
Here goes Gibson again. We just got an update from Morgan down the sidelines that Christian Clark, their other running back, just walked into the injury tent as well on that Texas sideline. And now he just runs back out onto the field, so that's good news. Probably had an equipment adjustment he had to make. Looks perfectly healthy here as he gets to the 20-yard line. Once again, C.J. Baxter out for the rest of this game. Got hurt on his first carry this afternoon. Limped off the sidelines and haven't seen him since, and we're told that he was done for the day. So it'll be the Clark and Gibson show. We might see a little James Simon along the way, but so far it's just been Clark and Gibson, a redshirt freshman and a sophomore.
And it speaks to Morgan's report how inexperienced and youthful this offense is. And again, they have an opportunity to step up as they try to complete their first down on the day.
0 for 6 on 3rd downs. Four-man rush. Manning is flushed near side. Throws it down. That one is through the hands of his intended target. Looked like Emery Winston was the intended receiver, and that could have been picked off.
Yeah, and again, Arch rolling across his body, trying to make a play, and it's just a little too high for Winston, and it almost turns into another interception for the UTEP Miners. But the Miners defense holds. That again, 0 for 7 on 3rd down. It's been the woes and the topics of what Steve Sarkisian's been trying to address with this young offense and getting that chemistry and balance down.
Amari, the 4th tight end we have seen today. Willis back to return, calls the fair catch at the last moment. Boy, almost didn't get that right hand back down in time to catch the football. A 59-yard punt, obviously no return, and that is where the Miners will have it. Well, here's our all-new SEC Network fall football weekday lineup for Monday reaction to Friday previews. We have you covered throughout the season. Every show is also available streaming on the all-new ESPN app. There's a lot to cover throughout the week during football season. That is a busy, busy Charlotte office.
You're right about that.
So the Miners only trail by a touchdown. They were getting late here in the first half. Hassan Wilson in it running back, but they're going to throw it here. Dump it off over the middle. Pass caught there by Kenny Odom. Mark him out of bounds over the 25 to the 27-yard line. So a gain of 5, setting up 2nd down and 5. Miners we haven't seen the tempo. That's because they haven't really got that first down to get it cranked up.
Well, getting the ball to a guy like Kenny Odom, that'll get you some positive yardage. That's Malachi Nelson's go-to and a tremendous playmaker for this offense.
Here goes Hassan Wilson. Turns the corner. Hassan had a 94-yard touchdown run in his last game. This time he's tripped up in Texas territory by Michael Taft, but another substantial gain. 30-yard pickup.
Yeah, beautiful design by Scotty Walden, bringing his running back in motion and then hitting the jet sweep zone. Hits it up, big play.
Here's some of that tempo. Pass is caught inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. That'll be another Miner first down, pickup of 14. Goins with that reception. 6 catches on the year for Torek. First down and 10, UTEP. 4-man rush. Nelson is dropped back at the 35-yard line. Boy, that pocket just collapsed in a hurry. A loss of 5.
Yeah, you can see Zena at the bottom of your screen to the left, using that long arm and stab. This is a guy that's 6'5", 262 pounds, getting an opportunity as a redshirt freshman to make his presence felt. And one way to slow down tempo, it's create negative plays, and that's what Zena did there.
First sack of the year for Umazalo. High throw. That one sailed over the hands of Kenny Odom. So now it'll be 3rd down and 15 coming up. Malachi Nelson, by the way, 10 out of 13, 83 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Arch Manning, 4 out of 12, 58 yards. Pressure comes. Nelson throws over the middle. Pass is caught. He's going to be 3 yards shy of the line to gain, but sets up a 4th down and short as we hit the 2-minute timeout. UTEP down a touchdown, trying to strike here in the 2nd quarter. We'll see what happens. Not been in sync today, that's for sure. As UTEP trying to strike here before halftime to knock this game up. It is 4th down and 3. Miners are 0 for 1 on 4th down today. Scotty Walden wants to take a timeout, his last one.
Timeout, UTEP. This is their final charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Scotty Walden, the young 35-year-old head coach of the Miners. This is just the second time he's ever been in the stadium, actually the third today. The first time when he was an offensive coordinator at East Texas Baptist College back in 2014 on the way to a long road trip, as he was talking about, man, at D3 level, you're on buses to go play games. And they always tried to stop somewhere at a cool place to practice, get out, let the guys go through a walkthrough, whatever, just kind of break up the trip. And they came here in 2014, a young man out of Fort Worth, Texas. They came in yesterday for a little walkthrough. That was the second time. And so today's the third time he's ever been in here. And he says before the game, I saw him before the game, and he looked around and he just said, man, I'm taking all this in. So it looks like UTEP has decided to go for the 3. Carlos Arriola to attempt a field goal, 1 for 2 on the year. His longest 42. That came in week 1 against Utah State. This will be a 39-yarder. Out of the hold of Noah Botsford. Clean snap. Kick is on the way. It is good. So the Miners are on the board. 1:55 to go here in the first half, and credit this UTEP defense for really making things uncomfortable for the Texas offense today.
Yeah, if you go by the rule of ball and you talk about takeaways or turnovers, they've been able to force an interception by Arch Manning and now have stopped Texas on 3 different fourth down occasions. Texas only 2 of 5. They've given this offense every opportunity to continue to maintain position and stay within striking distance of this Texas team.
You're watching SEC Network football presented by Sonic. As we see what Steve Sarkisian is trying to draw up for his club. They have put together 142 yards of offense. They have run 36 plays, averaging less than 4 yards per play today. Coming out of the end zone, Ryan Niblett hit at the 20. Hit again and again and again, driven back to the 20-yard line. So what are you looking for offensively right here in a 2-minute drill?
Yeah, you got 3 timeouts. That's the most important thing of how you want to utilize those timeouts with your space. Number 1, it starts with protection. Take care of the football. Give Arch Manning time to be able to be comfortable in the pocket. And then number 2, find that sync that we were mentioning with Ryan Wingo and Parker Livingston. Get them involved early, short, quick throws, and then picking up first downs to keep the clock stopped and efficient on first and second down.
Manning misfires again to the outside, trying to hit Christian Clark. Arch now 4 of 13.
To me, it seems as though Arch may be pressing a little more than he has to. No Baxter, no Wisner. You don't have DeAndre Moore as well. 3 of your typical starters on the offense. The rhythm is off, and Arch may feel some pressure by forcing it.
Handoff comes near side to Christian Clark. Helmet comes off. Elijah Baldwin, the bandit. Well, he looks good getting off that bus at 6'7", 230 pounds. He'll have to head up to the sideline after losing his helmet. Don't forget, 3 timeouts remaining for Texas. Boy, just looking at some of these numbers. Arch started 4 of 5.
Due to the helmet coming off by number 32 of the defense, this carries a 10-second runoff. Texas has declined the 10-second runoff. The game clock will start on the snap.
Well, there you go. Since that 4 or 5 start, Arch is 0 for 8 with a pick.
That's not what you want to have happen, Dave.
Well, he just needs a completion. I mean, I know it sounds simple, but I just think psychologically at some point it's got to start to wear on him.
Yeah. It's similar to basketball, right? Just got to see the ball go into the hoop, get a layup. I think that's what needs to happen.
That one could have been picked off, deflected at the line of scrimmage. And this offense will head back to the bench, and Texas will have to punt it away.
And You see hands up in the face. It's a quick, easy throw. Sees the window of opportunity, gets picked, and Rudolph, he is bashing himself right now, wishing he could have kept his hands on that. That could have been another turnover for the Miners defense, but they still hold up on third down with an opportunity to get their offense the ball back and a chance to try to put some more points up on the board before half.
Eric Willis back to return this punt. Miners coming after it. It is returnable, however. Actually, fair catch taken. And so the Miners will have it at the 33-yard line with 1:27 to go. The problem is there's no timeouts.
Yep. So you got to be able to get out of bounds, number one. If you have a chance to stay in bounds, or if the ball is thrown in the middle of the field, you got to pick up the first down so that the clock stops and then get to the mechanics of getting back on the ball. The beauty of it, though, is with Scotty Walden's offense, they have tempo built in already, so they know how to go fast, and that aids in the way that they like to do their process of running 2-minute drill at any point in time.
Don't forget, last week you and I were South Florida, Group of 5, Power 4. We've got the same situation going here. These Group of 5 teams start beating these Power 4 teams. They're not going to want to see us coming into town.
Yeah, it's bad omen. You and I right now.
Long way to go, though. UTEP, though, trying to make something happen here with no timeout. Boy, that's a quick hitter. Going to chew up some clock. Exactly what Texas would want. 2-yard gain. Hassan Wilson in the backfield alongside Nelson, who's looking to throw again. Drops it off underneath. Well, at some point, you got to try to stretch this field a little bit. These underneath throws with no timeouts, you're not going to get very far.
Yeah, it doesn't help. You got to get past the sticks if you're going to throw anything in the middle of the field. Otherwise, you need to stretch the field or try to throw an out-breaking route to be able to catch it and get out of bounds to stop that clock.
Now Texas thinking maybe we get another shot here. If we get a stop, force a punt, we got our 3 timeouts. We could use one there and still have a fighting chance to add to our 7 points. Hand it off to Wilson. Nowhere to go. He will lose a couple of yards in the process. Boy, Lianga with a foul with a big play and a perfect time. Number 16 getting it done. Number 18 getting it done.
First charge timeout.
Lianga's been great at being that Batman and Robin with Anthony Hill Jr. Leading tackler on this team, making his presence felt, getting that stop on third down and calling a timeout to see if he can help his offense create some good field position. Great
talking with Lianga yesterday. You know, we forget about the COVID because we're so much removed, but he was talking when he was in high school, Hawaii shut down. That's where he's from. He and 5 of his high school teammates had to leave the island. They went to Washington, the state of Washington, to play high school football for a couple of months and then went back to Hawaii. That was his sophomore year, so he actually got couple of years back in Hawaii playing high school football, but man, you just forget about some of those stories of what these kids went through.
They all lived together.
Yeah, the 5 lived together. Ryan Niblett kicks that one, watches that one kicked out of bounds. And there's a flag coming in a little bit late, some pushing and shoving back at the 35. I'm just kind of watching that as it was unfolding down the sideline.
Speaking of flags and the game we called with South Florida last week, that was prevalent on Florida's team, which created field position for the opposing team to get into scoring range last drive. So the referees obviously confer. Steve Sarkisian figuring out.
After the play was over, personal foul on the kicking team, number 14, throwing a player to the ground after the play. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You're going to see here those guys getting into a tussle match, 11 and 14, and just throwing them down, which is silly as the ball already was punted out of bounds. The whistle had been blown dead. It gave free yardage for this Texas offense who announced get the ball in UTEP territory on the 40-yard line.
2 timeouts for Texas. Jarrett Gibson will start this drive in the backfield. Arch Manning keeps it himself, sees a little bit of a hole to run through, and he will have a first down as he's pushed out of bounds right around that 30-yard line by Neil Campbell.
Maybe this will help get Arch Manning a little more settled. Utilizing his legs is something he's done very well. Maybe that finds a way to get him into rhythm. Help this offense get some first downs, first down.
That first completion for Arch today was 23 yards. It got 58, but they're going to keep it on the ground right here with Jarrett Gibson. He'll pick up 8 more. 39, 38 seconds to go. Longhorns line up in a hurry. Arch Manning trying to run for it, and he is held up, and he'll lose a couple of yards. That's Solo Barnes on the back end with a nice play.
Solo Barnes has made a couple solo tackles and impact plays already for this Texas team. Arch 101 tries to take that inside shoulder. Solo Barnes is not buying it. Stands up and flexes again and stick that foot into the dirt, slide a little bit, slip and slide records into that tackle. Solo Barnes with the TFL. That's where this UTEP defense is deadly and dangerous, is by playing on the opposing line of scrimmage and creating losses for those teams in the run game.
Regardless of what happens right here, if you're UTEP, you're heading into that locker room feeling like, hey man, we're in this no matter what the result is of this drive. Scotty Walden said to us, he goes, you know, I want our kids to embrace the moment. I mean, people talk about the G4, Power 4, you come in here to get a paycheck. He says, no, man, I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but we're going to go play to win. Whatever that looks like. We may not, but we're here to win.
Yeah, all the pressure is on Texas is what he also mentioned. They get to play free, and that defense is playing free right now.
There's a first down carry, hard running from Gibson. Solo Barnes met him, but a little bit late. They're in the red zone. They'll spot it at the 16-yard line.
Move quickly here. Get the ball out.
That's the first third down conversion of the game, and it comes with less than 20 seconds. 13 seconds. Second down and 10.
And for Texas there, that actually would have worked in their favor with Jordan Washington not being able to possess that ball. He falls inbounds. That clock would have kept moving, or they would have had to use their final timeout, which Steve Sarkisian probably wanted to save to set up a field goal opportunity if they need to.
Manning has missed 10 straight. That streak is over. Pass is caught down to the 5-yard line. Goes Jordan Washington on that reception. That'll be another Texas first down. 6 seconds on the clock. Sarkisian.
Timeout, Texas.
Wants a timeout.
This is a final charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
He will get it. Do you take a chance and maybe one play toward the end zone?
You have that time. With you being on the 5-yard line, it has to be a quick throw right now, maybe a back shoulder fade. It has to be in and out. And you better get one-on-one coverage on the outside. Otherwise, you take the field goal. With this offense and where Arch Manning has been struggling, trying to find that rhythm and being aggressive and staying aggressive shows the commitment that Steve Sarkisian may have in Arch Manning. And they may be discussing that at this moment to say, hey, this is what we need to do. Throw it quick, give them a chance. If not, then we roll out our kicking team. But it's either your receiver or nobody comes down with that ball.
So Arch Manning and company back on the field with 6 seconds to play. Christian Clark in the backfield. Miners trying to get a line. Late getting some players in. Now they're set for some football. Manning sees some room to run. Touchdown, Texas. His second of the game. This one from 5 yards out.
being able to look at his first target, Ryan Wingo. He doesn't like it. Second target, Christian Clark covered up. Tuck that ball, take it into the zone, and that's what Steve Sarkisian wants to see. If it's not there, make a play. And that's exactly what Arch Manning did there. Shout out to that offensive line. Give him that time to go through his read and progression, and then finalizing, capped off in the end zone.
Mason Shipley to attempt this point after. Hammer that through the uprights. He is now 8 of 8 point afters this year. That pushes the lead to 11. It's 14-3 with 1 second remaining. Boy, did Texas need that little shot in the arm. But
Heard some dismay in the crowd on the previous possession as they went 3 and out and weren't able to convert on their third down, and being able to go into the locker room knowing, hey, we found some momentum, we found some rhythm. Defense gave us a stop. We got a penalty to aid in the field position starting off. And that creates that kind of impact that you want to go into the locker room, because UTEP gets the ball back in the second half.
7 plays, 40 yards. A little less than a minute on that scoring drive. Arch Manning 5 of 16. 69 yards. So that'll come out to the 25-yard line. I think UTEP will just take a knee and head to the locker room.
I don't know, Dave. I can see a draw or screen possibly
see if
happening.
you can break one here.
Hey, you just got to see, right? He's aggressive. Never know. Hand it off. Son Wilson went 94 last week.
Well, then give it to him. Ashton Emery in the game at running back, however. 94-yard run, longest play from scrimmage in UTEP history. And had a stretch of 10 straight incompletions. And a fair catch called for gives us a chance to send it down to Morgan, who just moments ago caught up with Scott Walden.
Coach, how does your defense continue disrupting the rhythm of this Texas offense?
They're playing their hearts out. They're playing West Texas tough. I love everything. It's 100% on me before the half. I didn't execute our middle 8 play calls. I got to be better than for our team. Our defense, we can't rely on them to put them in bad situations. We got to win defense. We got to win field position. We can't give a great team good field position. On offense, we're starting to find a rhythm. We got to maintain that rhythm here in this first drive. It's going to be really, really critical. I'm so proud of this team. Their fight, they ain't backing down from a challenge. It's exactly what I wanted to see. Now we got to go win this third quarter.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, thanks, God bless. Picks up.
Malachi Nelson will swing it to Kenny Odom on the first play from scrimmage. Breaks a tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Folks, now I just want to wrap that up, that Scotty Waldron interview. The energy, imagine 45 minutes of that in a meeting room. I walked out of there, I was exhausted. He is 100 miles an hour, so ultra positive, just possesses this good vibe, good feeling, and it's just, I mean, really just an enjoyable time with him yesterday in our meetings.
Yeah, it made me want to run through a brick wall, that's for sure. I love the energy. I feed off of it. He's very passionate about what he does.
Handoff in a nice game. That one goes to Wilson. Wilson, the transfer from Charlotte, didn't play in that first game, but busted out last week. 8 carries for 117 yards, including that 94-yard touchdown run. So third down and relatively short here for the Miners. Nelson, quick slant. That pass is caught. They're going to spot him at the 36-yard line, just shy of the 36. Kenny Odom with a heck of a catch. And now he comes up lame.
You see Kenny Odom running a slant route on the true freshman, able to shield that ball into his chest and pick up a big first down for them to start the drive. And That's a piece that you can't lose. If you're Malachi Nelson in this UTEP offense, their most productive receiver, having to go off and get checked on, it's a huge blow.
That does not look comfortable. Four-man rush, sling it to the outside. And that one is just dropped. Got to make those.
It's right in his hands. Malachi Nelson puts it where it needs to be. Goins just takes his eyes off of the ball before he catches it, trying to make a move. And that ultimately cost him the incompletion.
Second down and 10. Here's Wilson. Boy, he is met right there by Ethan Burke, the first one to kind of get some jersey, maybe a yard on the play. Ethan Burke talked to him yesterday. He is all about winning. 6'6", 260 from right here in Austin, Westlake High School, fourth year in this program. And that one is bobbled out of bounds and incomplete. Juggling it on the way down is Eric Willis. So now it's fourth down.
That's a great job mixing up the snap count. Kind of catch Texas off guard. And Eric Willis just can't bring it in with his feet in bounds to be able to secure that catch. Accurate throw by Malachi Nelson, just a missed opportunity trying to pick up that first down.
Ryan Niblett back to return this punt. He stands just inside the 20. Noah Botsford transferred in from Valdosta State. A nice tight spiral kick, but this is returnable from the 13-yard line. Here goes Niblett to the near side. But he's got a wall set up. Niblett hit at the 40 on his feet. Inside the minor 40-yard line. What a nifty return from Ryan Niblett, and that was set up very well. A 51-yard punt and a 49-yard return.
Yeah, this play happens because they were smart blocks right on the edge. You look to the right of your screen, puts his hands up and shields that defender from being able to make the play on Ryan Niblett, but doesn't put his hands out to get that push in the back. And then Ryan Niblett does what Ryan Niblett does, one of the fastest guys on the football field, showcases that speed with a big return in plus territory for this Texas offense.
Arch Manning back on the field. Arch keeps it off the right side, looking for a little room to run, and that was closed up in a hurry. Micah Davey there to make that tackle. Recognize that name, Davey. Micah, the son of former LSU quarterback Rohan Davey.
Yeah, and I think he knows a little bit about playing that position. Rohan, one of the best to do it. Arch Manning trying to find his rhythm offensively. He's gone 5 for 16. Found it a little bit at the end of the second quarter, though.
Well, here's James Simon now in the backfield as flags come out. First time we've seen James today. Thought we might see him for a little bit, but with the injury to Baxter and no Trey Wisner, this is turned into a Clark Gibson and now Simon game in backfield.
It's number 52. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains second down.
Texas in that first half averaged just 4 yards per play. Haven't seen those explosives really from either team today.
I'm curious to see when Sark will utilize the screen game, which is one of the specialties that he pulls out.
Hand it off to Simon, fresh legs. We'll get a couple of yards. Shot Hall, transfer from South Carolina State, first one there. He had a couple of sacks in his UTEP debut. It's Utah State. As Christian Clark will come into the game and replace Simon. Oh, Manning is just walloped in the backfield. Pass is caught. Flags come out a couple of different places. Boy, that hit came from Udoka Ozani.
We got a couple different penalties.
Joshua Rudolph is down at the 40-yard line for UTEP.
Alcorn trying to get to 3-0, guys.
Thank you, Dari. Here, a lot was going on during that break, and they have waved off the targeting on Udoka Ozani. You and I, our first inclination when we had a chance to look at it during the break was pretty clean hit, just right in the chest.
It looked clean. The referees agreed.
So the offsetting penalties, though. Make it 3rd down and 8. Christian Clark in the backfield. Manning will take it himself. He's going to have the first down. Ozani able to make the tackle as he chases him down. Micah Davey had a chance but couldn't get the turf.
Third downs have been the bane of this offense. They find a way to utilize Arch Manning's athletic ability. Offensive line gets him to drop back. He finds that open space and goes and picks it up with his legs.
Wingo comes in motion. Look that way. Now Manning will come back. He will throw it to Simon. Gets a block from Wingo. And Simon out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Cody Lowe runs him out of bounds. Wingo today has yet to catch a pass. Wingo on the season just 2 catches.
Can't have that happen. It's a dynamic player. Got to find a way to get the ball to him and get him involved.
Go with Simon again. Breaks a tackle. Cuts it back. Simon looking sharp inside the 10. K.D. Johnson finally drags him down. Garrett Hawkins had a chance at him.
Yeah, being able to run that outside zone play. And the read tells him to actually go inside. He says, nah, I got this. I'll make that guy miss. Sticks his head upfield and then goes and make a dynamic play to pick up that first down. James Simon starting to feel it a little bit in his first opportunity to play some football in that burnt orange uniform.
Simon. Ball will be spotted back at the 13-yard line. That's a loss of 5.
Yeah, and that's just a drive killer. Arch takes his eyes off of the ball as he goes to the read, as that's a read run inside zone. If the end crashes, he pulls it, just gets his eyes to that read a little bit too early before securing the snap. It creates a negative play for Texas offensively in a red zone area where they've struggled throughout the course of this year.
Simon stays in the game. Freshman out of Shreveport, Louisiana, trying to make a minor miss. Does. Falls forward inside the 15. There's Garrett Hawkins along with Cody Lowe. So it'll be 3rd down and goal now. Christian Clark will come back in.
This is where Sark probably in the headset told Arch, be smart with the football here.
Pressure comes. Manning looking, buying a little bit of time. Flag comes out in the backfield. Throws incomplete. That's going to be a hold. Ozani was trying to break free of one of those Longhorn linemen.
Holding on the defense, number 52. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
That's DJ Campbell back there grabbing some of that jersey of Ozani.
Correction, offense, number 52.
You're going to see down towards the bottom of your screen, Ozani trying to get to the quarterback. He just gets too much of that jersey. Campbell does, pulls him off of his track. And they're going to call that every single time, especially whenever that body language changes as they're chasing after the quarterback. It's a good call by the officials.
So 31-yard attempt for Mason Shipley. 15 of 19 last year at Texas State. Hit his only field goal attempt this year. 47-yarder against San Jose State last weekend. This one is a clean operation. The kick is good. So 3 more on the board. It's a 2-touchdown advantage now for the Texas Longhorns. 17. Well, ESPN supports the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week every year to celebrate great teachers across this country who have inspired so many of us. Nominate a great teacher in your community by visiting cfpfoundation.org. And we look at Kyle Flood right there, the offensive coordinator, O-line coach for Texas. And interesting man. His first job when he graduated college was as a math teacher. He was a mathematics major in college, taught algebra and trigonometry, did it for a few years before he went to Hofstra and started getting into the football world and whatnot. But a great conversation yesterday. Loves math, loves numbers.
Yeah, that's why his offensive lines are good. They always have great angles.
He said he thinks he could get back in the classroom and teach today's youth. I was like, I don't know about that now. It's a different time now.
ChatGPT will figure out a way
Can
to
you
help
see
out
him
any math problem.
trying to deal with that stuff? Oh, it was great talking to him. What a fun man to be around. And he has got some stories. Look at him. He's working the iPad. Of course, that was instituted a couple years ago. Coaches, players can utilize that device on the sidelines. Trying to figure out a way to produce some points. UTEP on their drive today. 5 punts, 1 interception. They turned it over on downs, and 1 resulted in a field goal. That's it. Hand it off. Wilson. At some point, I would think, you got to try to stretch this out. We haven't seen UTEP take any chances really deep down the field.
Yeah, and we saw them have success last week. They got to implement it now to soften up this Texas defense.
The heat's coming again. Nelson tripped up in that SEC logo. So now it's another 3rd down. And they're chasing the chains again. It'll be 3rd down and about 10. Miners 2 of 9 on 3rd downs today.
Nelson has to be smart with the football here. If it's not there, right, take what the defense gives you, live to fight another down.
Out route intercepted. Grayson Littleton with his first interception for the Texas Longhorns. He'll be keeping that football.
And there you go. Rhythm drop. Just makes the incorrect read. Grayson Littleton flies underneath that flat receiver, trying to get to the sticks. Extremely smart play by the true freshman, being able to get underneath that pass and cause Texas's second turnover of the day.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Texas bench for coming off the bench and onto the field. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You know, we saw them do that earlier, but I didn't see a penalty flag for the first time they did it. Maybe it was like
a warning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Celebrating with your teammates, man, I don't have any problem with that. Freshman getting his first interception. Wasn't taunting the other team. I thought maybe that was a little too much from a celebration standpoint.
So that'll back it up close to midfield. First down and 10 now for the Longhorns. Arch 6 of 18, 77 yards, no TDs, and interception. He has rushed for 2 touchdowns. Here's Simon off that left side. Stiff arm. Can't get out of the grasp of Elijah Baldwin. Young man out of San Antonio, Texas, just a redshirt freshman. Boy, Simon, a 4-star prospect, rated as the #6 running back recruit nationally, #3 overall prospect coming out of Louisiana. He averaged 9 yards a carry in high school. Whew. Simon trying to bounce bounce around. That didn't work, and a stop from Solo Barnes was the first one there. A solo tackle from Solo Barnes.
Solo Barnes has been all over the field today. He's making his presence felt, right? This UTEP defense playing lights out, keeping the defense kind of confusing Arch, honestly. Arch doesn't know what he's getting. He can't hit the receivers in stride, and a lot of that has to do with the impact that Solo Barnes has had on the back end.
Coming near side, Ryan Niblett trying to get the edge and runs into some white jerseys, but will fall forward for the first down. Xavier Smith there to trip him up, but Niblett does just enough to move the chains.
Yeah, and that's a way to pick up a first down, get it to your athletes in space, and let Ryan Niblett go use that momentum and turn into a torpedo to get himself vaulted across that first down line. You had blocking on the edge to help secure his opportunity to pick it up.
Fake it to Simon. There's a catch by Wingo, dancing around. Wingo with a first down. His first catch today, the third reception of the season. Boy, that is not a good look for Garrett Hawkins. Garrett's in the game because Joshua Rudolph got hurt, and now Hawkins being helped off the field. There have been some injuries on that UTEP side. Longhorns ready to go. James Simon back in that backfield. Ryan Niblett goes in motion, comes back across the formation now. Arch Manning near side, and Arch twisted up and dropped out of bounds. And Cody Lowe. A lot going on that UTEP sideline. Morgan, what's happening?
Well, it's gone from bad to worse over here with Kenny Odom. He was the first to go down, grabbing that right shoulder and immediately rushed into the tent. Then it was linebacker Joshua Rudolph, the alpha of this defense. And then Garrett Hawkins just moments later helped off the field, his backup. So 3 guys currently in the injury tent right now for UTEP.
Those guys are quick healers, can get back on the field. In motion, but they're going to hand it off to Simon, and Micah Davey there to make the stop, but they'll be at the 10-yard line.
Now here's where attrition plays a factor. Late in the game, that heat starts to set in. You get that bigger push by the offensive lineman. All the slants and the stunts, they start going away from where you want to at the point of attack. James Simon presses the heels and then able to shoot up and get a big first down already for this Texas offense pushing into the red zone.
Simon 7 carries, 28 yards. His 8th carries wrapped up. Well, he's driving, but nowhere to go. First one there was low, then Wilson came in, and that was enough of that. Loss of 3.
We go going back to the well. Cody Lowe does a great job of defeating his blocker across the face, being that initial stop guy, and then Jaden Wilson cleaning it up. And that TFL category continues to stack up for this UTEP defense.
Second and goal. Fake it to Simon. Manning's pass is batted in the air and finally caught. Livingston in a tussle over there on the edge with Justin Content. Livingston won that battle, but didn't go anywhere.
They didn't. Using the RPO, trying to get it to their advantage. Parker Livingston just takes his eyes off of the ball initially, maintains concentration, comes down with the catch, but fortunately it's only for a gain of 1.
Third and goal from the 12-yard line. Christian Clark back in the game. 3 receivers to the wide side. Manning looking. Still looking. Flushed out of the pocket, will throw, and that one is batted in the air. Deflected by Azani. And now it's 4th down. Here comes the kicking unit.
And again, this offensive line gives Arch Manning all the time that he needs to make the right read. Keeps his eyes downfield, rolls out ultimately, probably makes a poor decision trying to throw it to the running back there with the defender in his face. Azani ultimately deflects the ball, but That could have been dangerous and going the other way had he been able to come down with that pass.
So Mason Shipley, this will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. He's hit from 31 today from the near hash mark. This kick is on the way, and it is right down the middle. So another 3 on the board for the Longhorns. They will push this lead to 20-3. Well, we got a second. Let's get an update. Dari, what's going on?
Dave, it has been a thriller from the jump. Georgia had just taken a 30-28 lead on Tennessee when Joey Aguilar finds Braylon Staley all alone. Joey Aguilar, 4 touchdown passes, ties his career high. 3:51 through the air, and Tennessee is up 35-30 early fourth. Our primetime game starting around 7:45 Eastern time. Lenora Sellers in South Carolina. Look out. A lot of people like the Commodores down there.
How about that quarterback matchup? Diego Pavia and Lenora Sellers going at it. That'll be a fun one tonight. We'll get you there as soon as we wrap up here. You are watching SEC football presented by Sonic. Dave Neal, Fozzie Whitaker, Morgan Uber down the sidelines. In a 20-3 Texas advantage. It has not been easy for the Longhorns today. Fair catch called for. Out to the 25-yard line we go. This Texas defense was good last year, and while they had to check some parts, they had 5 guys drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a ton of talent. But they seem to have replaced that. Maybe not to the same level, but close enough.
They've done exactly what they needed to do. Young guys have stepped up. Grayson Littleton getting an interception and making his impact felt. The interior defensive line also doing well, helping control the game. And then Michael Taft spearheading the defense on the back end. And obviously Anthony Hill, one of the best in the game, playing that middle linebacker position.
Pressure comes on this run and nowhere to go. Right into a bunch of burnt orange jerseys. Hero Canoe, the first one there. This is a defense that's given up just 136 total yards today. 35 of those yards on the ground. They're holding the Miners to just 2 yards per carry.
It's impressive considering what the Miners were able to do just a week ago against Tennessee Martin. Obviously, the big 94-yard run by Wilson was a big highlight, but they moved the ball on the ground at will last week, and Texas has taken that away from this UTEP offense.
Ashton Emery in the game in the pistol formation. High throw, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and a dozen. You know, you go back 2 weeks against Ohio State, this defense, they held the Buckeyes to just 203 yards. Buckeyes only crossed midfield twice.
The issue was the Buckeyes scored twice whenever they crossed midfield.
That is their first sideline warning of that is their warning for the game. It's 3rd down.
3rd down and 12. Under a minute to go. 3rd quarter. Malachi Nelson. Pressure comes, dumps it off. Oh, what a nice catch by Emery. One-handed grab, but Longhorns stretched that one out to the sideline. Michael Taft leading the charge. There is a flag down. And an injured Miner. Judah Azinwa is the injured Miner, the tight end.
You hate to see it. This UTEP offense and defense have already experienced significant attrition.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist on the defense number 29. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, and it carries an automatic 1st down.
Oh, the true freshman Grayson Littleton.
Yeah, and as a defender, you can't go low on that lead blocker no matter how big they are. They're trying to eliminate those types of hits because of the injuries that they cause.
For player injuries.
And that's where you get in trouble and why it becomes an automatic 1st down for the safety and health of everybody on the football field.
Malachi Nelson, 15 of 23 for 102 yards, 2 interceptions today. A little bit about his journey. It's been a couple of years since he's played significant football. In his senior year of high school 3 years ago, played injured with a torn labrum. He was telling us that he'd go play that high school football season, and he'd get back home and he'd just lay in bed and he'd roll over and his shoulder would pop out. And would continue to wrap it up, get through the week, play the game. And I can't imagine that was much fun. And then, of course, had surgery before he went to USC. Kind of slowed his development down and ended up being the third-team quarterback for all intents and purposes. And he and Arch don't know each other, even though that they were like the top 2 quarterbacks coming out of that class. They know each other just because of kind of the world in which they live, but they never really met each other in person.
Right. They
sent each other a couple of text messages, but that's the extent of their relationship.
Yeah, and they're both ultra uber competitors, and Malachi Nelson is tough as nails, right? I couldn't imagine trying to play an entire season, let alone at the quarterback position with a torn labrum. Not to mention he won National Gatorade Player of the Year with a torn labrum his senior season. So that's how tough he is and how impactful he was for his football team in high school, and how good of an athlete and a quarterback he was coming out of high school.
Boy, this is never a good scene as the golf cart from the left end zone is waiting at the 10-yard line. So while we will wait, opportunity to get it back to the studio and get an update with Dari. What's going on, buddy?
All right, Dave, big turn of events here. We'll show you in just a moment in Knoxville. Meanwhile, Talon Green and the Razorbacks, another trendy upset pick on the road tonight, just like Vandy is in Columbia. Arkansas, Ole Miss, top of the hour, ESPN. Now, let's get you to Rocky Top. We showed you Tennessee take the lead. Georgia driving down the field, but starting to drive anyway. Long third down. Gunnar Stockton gets hit, loses the football. Tennessee recovers. Volunteers on the 32-yard line right now, facing a big fourth down, guys.
Boy, what a game going on between Georgia and Tennessee. Just wonder if the Vols have enough to finally snap that streak. Zenwa, the tight end out of Fontana, California, transferred in from San Antonio Junior College. It's a great scene that he got up under his own power, being escorted into the tent. There was a golf cart ready to get him if needed, but boy, just another banged up UTEP player here this afternoon. These are those games you try, you hope that they don't cost you 2 or 3 games
right
down the road. First down and 10. 3-man rush. Nelson, he'll just throw it out of bounds. Hero Canoe was chasing him down.
Hits a play there by Malachi Nelson, not trying to force a throw. Confusion on the back end by the way Texas stemmed their coverage and really covered up all the guys underneath. Just throws the ball away in a smart play.
Quick hitter to the outside, caught there by Goins, and that's be a gain of about 5. Freshman out of Freeport, Texas.
You got to imagine they're expecting UTEP's offense is probably expecting some pressure by Texas.
20-3, final 15 minutes on the way. Malachi Nelson for a handoff, and he is met in that hole by Trey Moore. That senior linebacker was there waiting for number 1 in white.
Again, you run that play offensively with the expectation if you don't get it, probably going to stay aggressive and go for it on 4th down. with it being only 3 yards away.
And that is what they're doing. Underneath throw, and well, they just weren't ready. Marcus Torres coming across the middle. Don't even know that he saw the pass come his way, so I think it bounced off his leg.
Appeared it did. And that's kind of what you fall into is Malachi and he haven't gotten the reps that usually Kenny Odom would be the guy running across on that crossing route. They've probably done a million times. And in that case, he wasn't alert or ready for that moment. And Torres probably wishes he could have that play back in order to pick up a first down for that UTEP minor offense.
It's only 47 yards to pay dirt for this Texas team on first down and 10. Connor Robertson in at center right now as he takes over for Cole Hudson, who went into that Texas injury tent. Morgan, what's going on down there?
Hudson has been in this tent for an extended period of time, and I saw the offensive line really get up and rally. It was Trevor Gooseby firing up his O-line with the adversity they're facing, just saying, guys, we got to play for each other. Let's finish this fourth quarter strong.
Only 256 yards of offense for Texas, 97 of it through the air. Another injured minor player. This time it's Neil Campbell, their best cover man on the back end, their alpha dog in that secondary. You may be. Quarterback comparison, two of the best in the conference. And Morris Sellers certainly in that Heisman conversation. Arch Manning with a great play fake, keeps it himself, then breaks a tackle, a little dead leg down to the 31-yard line. 14-yard gain for Arch.
Yeah, this is where Arch has been most effective for this offense. If it hasn't been working in the air, let's go ahead, keep it on the ground. You see Jack Indries leading the way, picking up a lead block, and Arch is BYOB, be your own blocker, breaking tackles and picking up another first down for this offense.
Handed off to Simon, that goes nowhere. Jaden Wilson, the junior out of El Paso, transferred in from New Mexico, making a play.
Great read and a great tackle by Jaden Wilson. Playing underneath the offensive lineman, dipping that inside shoulder, filling the hole immediately. Minimal gain for Texas, just an instinct he's been able to play with since he's come in relief.
Simon on that carry, hit again by Wilson. Stayed down, getting a bunch of snaps since Garrett Hawkins and Joshua Rudolph, the other linebackers, have been banged up in this game. Micah Davey, the other linebacker, having a nice game with 7 tackles. Solo Barnes leads UTEP in tackles with 8. Flags or timeout taken by UTEP before the snap.
Their first charge timeout of the half.
So we'll take it with them. 12:34 to go here in the fourth quarter.
To Zachariah Branch, 38, 2.5 to go in Knoxville. Wild on Rocky Top, guys. We'll keep you posted.
Dari, I want you to just turn that off. Just pay attention to us here. Nothing going on in Knoxville. Oh my goodness, what a ball game. How about that throw?
Down, 4th and 6, and Gunnar Stockton to put it on the line like that, that's impressive.
So 3rd down, and let's call it 4 for the Longhorns. Keep it on the ground. I'll go with Simon, who's had a good second half carrying the football. Neil Campbell back on the field after leaving a few plays ago. Good to see him back on the field. But Simon's had a nice second half. He's gotten the bulk of the work here. Clark and Gibson were the guys getting the bulk in the first half. Micah Davey with his 8th tackle. Simon on that carry.
Got to say that referee, the guy that was in the middle of the field, might be the most athletic move I've ever seen him do. A backward roll, slide onto his feet, and then help another individual up off of the ground. That was pretty impressive. Elite movement by that referee.
See that little nugget on the right of your screen. Gotta go back to November of 2022, last time Texas hasn't had a touchdown pass in a victory. Still time for that to happen. Arch today, 9 of 22 for 97 yards. 41% completion rate. One interception. Throw here. There is a flag down.
Illegal substitution on the defense, playing with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Texas gets UTEP with their own tempo. Micah Davey tries to run out of the back of the end zone, which obviously is illegal. Was caught by the officials. The correct call there. As Texas catches UTEP's defense off guard with the no huddle.
Jarrett Gibson in the backfield now. First and goal from the 5. Planning to throw, and that one is caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Ryan Wingo.
Have to imagine that Sark was still going to force the issue with these two receivers. You get man-to-man coverage, natural rub between the two receivers, and Ryan Wingo utilizes natural space and leverage on the defender to fade away from the ball, and Arch Manning delivers first passing touchdown for Ryan Wingo this season.
Shipley with the point after attempt. It is up and good. So a couple of catches. Athletics honoring some fantastic athletes from days gone by, including your old teammate, Rod Wright.
Yeah, man, it's awesome to see. Big time guy, deserving big time rewards. Now coaching for the Houston Texans.
So Malachi Nelson back on the field for the Miners. See his numbers today. There have been no shots. I can't remember many passes beyond 10 yards in this game. Maybe 1 or 2, but nothing deep down the field.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier in this game that in order to soften up this Texas defense, take advantage of their aggressiveness, got to spread the ball downfield. That's imperative now, down by 24 points.
That pass is caught there by Eric Willis. Turns the corner, and he gets out over the 45. Jelani McDonald trips him up. And the Miners going to go a little tempo here. Spotted at the 48-yard line. 3-man rush. Malachi Nelson will just fall forward. Gets it into Texas territory, but now it's going to be hard to get it downfield if they're dropping 8.
Yeah, that's tough windows, and Malachi Nelson has to do just that. Pick up what they give you, especially if it's open and available underneath. Don't be too antsy to cause an issue on the back end there.
Underneath route, that one goes to Marcus Torres. Redshirt freshman out of El Paso, Texas. 3rd and very short. Trayvon Tate, 5th-year senior, coming up with the catch. He transferred in from UT Martin, a team that UTEP knocked off last weekend.
UTEP finding some rhythm offensively with the short throws. Try to make sure they keep picking up first downs.
Shoulder fake from Nelson. He's going up top, trying to take that shot we're talking about. That one is incomplete. Jelani McDonald back there in coverage of Eric Willis.
interference on the defense number 3. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Carries an automatic first down.
You can see here, Jalen Gilbo just a tad early, touching on the receiver as the ball is in the air. Jelani McDonald over top, trying to force it, just too much contact at the end of that route in order to try to defend the ball. But again, I'm more of a let those guys play. I didn't think that necessarily warranted a pass interference call in that situation.
Gilbo had his first career interception last week with a senior in Port Arthur, Texas. First down and 10 now for the Miners. Ashton Emery at running back. Eric Willis comes in motion. Razzle dazzle. They'll toss it back to Willis coming around the corner, and a big collision at the 25. Colton Bassick there to make the play.
I actually expected a little bit more of the misdirection / trick plays thrown in there. Malachi Nelson even getting on the edge, forcing the issue, trying to pick up a block for his own teammate. They pick up a good 4-yard gain on first down to try to keep him ahead of the chains.
Nelson, little soft touch. That one's incomplete. Trying to hit Trayvon Tate. Jordan Johnson. Rubel back there in coverage. Nice closing speed.
It's outstanding coverage, one-on-one. Being able to knock it down. Now you set up third and medium. Texas has shown aggressive blitzes and man coverage on the back end. Is that the case here?
Play clock down to 8. Third down and 6. That one is incomplete. Jordan Johnson-Rubel back there again in coverage for Texas on this sequence. Now it's 4th down, and this is definitely go territory.
Yeah. Again, a pressure look. Somebody has to win man-to-man, one-on-one. This is typically where you would see Kenny Odom step up in a big play. Without him, that guy probably turns into Torrey, number 88 on the outside.
Pressure comes. They dump it off. Another outstanding catch by Emery. Emery to the 20 and hit there. Not enough for the first down, though. He'll be a couple of yards shy. Boy, just did a wonderful job just even holding on to that football.
Second one-hand grab that he's had on the day. Jalen Gilbo does a great job of knocking him out of bounds. But ultimately, for UTEP, it's a missed opportunity going down most of the field, getting inside of the red zone and not being able to capitalize with points.
Well, our next True South is Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the SEC Network with John T. Edge traveling around Charleston, South Carolina, the Cuban Cafe Mexicano, Verns and Berthas. It'll be a great show at one of the most popular tourist destinations in the country. Hope you can catch it for that one. Micah Davey and the tackle of Jarrett Gibson. Under 8 minutes to go. It's been a really strange game. There's been no flow to this game at all on either side. Offensively, I think Coach Sark's going to have a lot of questions after the game about that. Like, just didn't seem, the word sink again comes up.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get this thing going in the right direction where it's flowing? First down, you're picking up 6-7 yards on first down, second, those kind of things. Like, they just haven't been there today.
Yeah, and it seems like the focal point for this game, or the game plan, was to lean on this UTEP defense a little bit more in the run game with 50 rushing attempts that Texas has had offensively to help keep them in third and manageable.
Good strong throw. That went out to Ryan Wingo. First down over the 35. Well, that was an absolute seed from Arch Manning.
Now, it's the throwing talent that we've been looking for. Drop back, hitches, and then throws a absolute laser to Ryan Wingo. That's the connection that has to continuously grow and continue to take that next step in the evolution of where this Texas offense needs to go to be in sync, like Steve Sarkisian mentioned to us yesterday.
Simon shifts to the left. We'll get the handoff and run right. Udoko Izani with the tackle. Well, we call Izani being a bunch. 6 tackles today, but it feels like it's a lot more than that. He's been a disrupting force for sure.
Yeah, he and Micah Davey, I think they have a battle of who can come away with the most tackles by the end of the day, maybe even by the end of the season, the guy with the most tackles.
Davey leading the team right now with 9 stops for UTEP. Second down and 9. Boy, trying to get Wingo on the edge, and that was going nowhere. There's Jaden Wilson again making a nice play. A couple of those here in the second half.
Yeah, Jaden Wilson reads it well. Reads run and obviously make sure he has some leverage. Ron Wingo tries to bows out to avoid it, and Jaden Wilson just makes that play. And again, that's another TFL for the top team in the country that produces the most TFLs.
Christian Clark at running back on a third down and 15. Rushing 3, dropping 8. Arch will come near side with it. High throw, but looked like Clark got his feet tangled up as well. Now it's 4th and 15.
Yeah, just when you thought the Longhorn offense was finding rhythm, then it kind of just falls apart with the negative play and then can't complete on the check down, and Bo Meester's back out there for another punt.
Eric Willis back to return at the 22-yard line. Willis breaks a couple of tackles and takes it out to the 40-yard line. With that, time to get another update. Let's get you to the studio, Dari.
Guys, Tennessee gave themselves an opportunity seconds ago. Max Gilbert for the win! Not even close. That was his first ever attempt at a field goal to tie or win the game. 38-38. We are looking to be headed to overtime on Rocky Top. And as you said earlier, there is nothing to see there.
Yeah, nothing to see in Knoxville. Man, the Vol fans have got to be losing their mind.
Yeah, that Tennessee game is obviously a lot of action happening, going down to the wire, going into overtime. Like wild and chaotic. What a day for college football, Dave. Then tonight we get to see Pavia and Sellers. It's a great slate.
Georgia Tech with a huge win today over Clemson in Atlanta.
Statement victory.
Yeah, I mean, watch out for the Jackets. Well, Haynes King is some kind of quarterback for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. True two-dimensional player. Nelson's throw is caught. That'll be a first down out to the 25-yard line. Jalen Brown over there with a nice grab. Again, you're looking at a quarterback. You say it's 27-3. We're under 5 minutes. But here's a guy that hadn't taken a whole lot of snaps in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, as many reps as you can.
And down he goes, and a flag comes out. That might be a face mask in there.
Face mask.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 40. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot and carries an automatic first down.
Yes.
You see Lance Jackson coming to the right of your screen, trying to get a sack. Just grabs the face mask of Malachi Nelson, brings him down. That's going to get called every time. He's a true freshman, has a really good career path from the size and stature, and then the lineage that he comes from also works in his favor.
First down from the 40-yard line. Another underneath throw. That one's caught. That'll pick up 5, close to 5. There's Trayvon Tate with that reception. Tell you what, face mask calls like that. As a coach, now you're starting to think, maybe, I know he needs some reps, but maybe we might switch this out. But that's not the case. There's a good throw. Nelson hits his target. Trayvon Tate still on his feet inside the 20 and dragged down around the 10-yard line. And the Miners in a hurry-up mode.
A great strike by Malachi Nelson, finding his slot receiver, and then Tate making 2 guys miss and picking up some yak after that catch. Put them inside of the red zone.
Nelson dumps it off underneath. It's caught around the 7-yard line.
See Tate finds the open spot, makes 2 guys miss with a little shimmy shake. The angular foul finally brings him down.
That handoff goes to Wilson. He gets a couple of yards to the 5, so it'll be 3rd down, and they got to get it down to the 2-yard line to keep the drive alive or pick up the first down. Nelson, 24, 36, 209. 2 picks, though. Shea Smith checks into the game. Thought we might see him. He's one of these specialists, can do some different things for you. So the number 8 in at quarterback right now, the redshirt freshman out of El Paso. He'll take it himself, cuts it back, and is walloped right about the 3. I don't know that he got the first down. It could be 4th and about a yard. Trey Moore and Jordan Johnson-Rubel converge on the tackle.
Talking about coming in for your first snap, and that's what you have, a wake-up call too. Meeting those 2 guys, he drops that shoulder. He realizes very quickly, kind of need a little bit more leverage, but it's a big play.
2-minute timeout.
Picks up the first.
Will be an amazing matchup at quarterback. Shea Smith checks into the game. 1st and goal. Shea keeps it. Touchdown, UTEP.
You see the excitement by Scotty Walden there. That touchdown means a lot for him and this program. Shea Smith, the youngster out of El Paso, redshirt freshman, calls his own number, uses that lead block and gets into the zone.
Cade McConnell will hold. A little 2-point conversion did Cade, number 11, down there, the holder last week. They lined up in a funky formation. We're going to do the traditional point after here. Ariola is through the uprights. New score, 27-10. So the Miners will get a little confidence builder with that touchdown.
Yeah, building up the confidence of the young quarterback as well. Ashton Emery leading the way as that lead blocker, and Shea Smith does what he does best, dropping that shoulder. Scotty Walden celebrating touchdown in the end zone. UTEP Miners with their first one of the day.
I know it's not been a pleasant day offensively for this Texas team. 310 yards of offense, but I mean, I know you're going to say, hey man, they're Conference USA, G5, but this has been a really good defensive team.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Texas was sharp by any stretch of the imagination, but I think a little credit should go to the guys on the far sideline for some of the work they put in today.
Yeah, it's always two-tail to the story, right? Texas offense is off, but why was it off? Well, some of the things had to do with what UTEP forced from the defensive side of the thing. So credit is due because of how well they played and established the line of scrimmage, being able to create some chaos up front. And then forcing some errant throws by the quarterback and creating a turnover as well.
Texas looks like they have their hands team out. Ryan Niblett is the lone Longhorn. Back at the 15-yard line. There is the onside kick. And Texas recovers it cleanly and crisply, and they'll take over at the 46-yard line. So this Texas offense has seen Arch Manning go 11 for 25. Had a stretch in the first half where he missed 10
Please
straight.
reset the game clock to 156, 156. Thank you.
I'm just curious, your thoughts. It's looked a little bit better as Matthew Caldwell will come in and take some snaps now, but just to kind of put a button on Arch's day, I mean, what's your take on the situation?
Yeah, second half did look better than the first. 10 straight incompletions to kind of finish the first half. It was not what you wanted to see. Found a little bit rhythm. They still need to find more for success.
Caldwell takes it himself. That'll be a first down. Caldwell, the senior at Auburn, Alabama. He's been to a few schools. Jacksonville State, Gardner-Webb, came in from Troy.
Using a little zone read quarterback keep where we've seen the success of Arch Manning being able to utilize his legs to pick up 2 touchdowns on the ground, where Matthew Caldwell comes in, calls his own number, and picks up a first down in his action in the game.
1:25 to go as you're watching SEC Network football presented by Sonic. First down and 10. Hand off to Simon off the right side. He'll pick up 9 yards. What, I've been impressed by Simon here in the second half. I mean, he is now 16 carries, all coming in the second half. Gibson had 18 carries for 64 yards. I think a big topic of discussion will be the injury to C.J. Baxter that carried it one time and left the field hobbling and never saw him again.
Yeah, this running back room going to have to grow up very quickly with Trey Wisner missing today. Get him back healthy, hopefully to help offset some of the injuries you've seen.
There's Simon turning the corner. He has the first down and out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
That's a freshman mistake right there, Dave. You got to stay in bounds on that. Let that clock run.
Well, maybe he wants one more carry.
I understand that.
He's willing to take the heat. Give me the ball one more time. Now, if I was a coach, I might sub him out. It'll be victory formation. Well, Sam, Houston State here next week. Another opportunity to kind of get that sink that they're looking for offensively.
Yeah, I want to start off. UTEP did a tremendous job keeping this Texas offense kind of out of whack. Arch Manning as well as Ryan Wingo, they have to fix that connection. They found it late in the game. Continue to do that. And then that Texas defense is